Hello. I am like super nervous. I'm also not 100% certain if there's like a delay or anything. Hello. Boo! Hi. Hi there. Hopefully there's not too much of a delay. I'm not 100% certain. Okay, good. Okay. Hi there. This is my debut stream. I have never streamed before in my life, so I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah. Apologies if I'm a little awkward. So, let's see. My name's Drowsy. I am a piebald white-tailed deer. You know, definitely just a deer. There's nothing else going on here, you know. Totally normal deer. So, typical debut scuff, I have decided to do some slides. So, let me get to those. Okay, so, a bit about me. My name is Drowsy. You can call me Drow for short if you like. My birthday is on September 26th, so I'm an autumn baby. My age is... I'm well over the age of 18. Some might even call me ancient. Some being, you know. My species, I'm a piebald white-tailed deer. I'm really not sure why deer is in quotation marks there. I kept trying to put deer, but it just kept correcting it for some reason. Weird. I'm not sure why that is. My pronouns are they, them. I'm non-binary. And so I kind of don't really feel as though I fit either of the binary genders. Some of my likes, deer, duh. I really love deer. Pretty much every kind of deer there is. I love them. I love extinct species of deer. I will talk your ear off for hours about megalosaurus and everything. I also like coelacanths. Coelacanths are one of my favorite animals. I've loved them since I was a little kid. I got to see one once, actually. They had like a preserved one at the Smithsonian, and I got to see it. That was like one of my favorite experiences as a kid. I like animals in general. I'm just kind of a nature nut. And just like most animals I love. I even like animals that a lot of people are kind of about. I love snakes. I love spiders. I love most insects. There are a few exceptions, which you can see in the dislikes. We'll get to those. I like folklore. Folklore is like one of my passions. I kind of consider myself an amateur folklorist. I like to collect various folklore from different places. My main like favorite folklore is North American folklore, specifically Ozarks and Appalachian, and then also Celtic. But pretty much anything with deer is fair game. I love Earl Grey tea. That is my favorite tea. I especially love it prepared as a London fog. There's a little tea place in my town that I really like going to, and they have really good London fogs. I am a deer, which means that I am required by natural law to love strawberries. And I also love blackberries. But I pretty much like every berry. I don't really think there's a berry I don't like. And creepy, surreal animal art. That is like a very specific thing, but I love it a lot. I have a favorite artist who goes by Dappermouth, and they have like the best examples of that kind of art genre that I can think of. As for dislikes, unethical hunters. I am not anti-hunter. I know that probably is kind of strange since I'm a deer, but I'm not anti-hunter because they're very important for maintaining the ecosystem when we don't have natural predators. But if you're a poacher or you are on a canned hunting ranches, or you're a trophy hunter who just hunts for fame, I probably don't like you very much. Housing development companies. Similar to unethical hunters, I don't like these because they kind of mess up the environment. They like to just kind of like tear down forests and stuff. We have a big problem with that where I live. Don't like them. You'll see when I'm in the process of animating a lore video right now, and you will see that it plays a role in that. Wet clothes, especially socks. That is the absolute worst, in my opinion. I have like a lot of sensory issues, and I can't stand wet clothes. If I get even a little bit of water in my clothes, most of the time I will go change. Raw tomatoes. I can't really eat raw tomatoes unless they're on something. So if they're on a sandwich or a salad, I can eat them. But if they're just by themselves, there's something about the aftertaste that's just like, ugh, yuck. No, thank you. And here too are the two exceptions to my animal-loving ways. Ticks and mosquitoes. I mean, I don't think there's that many people who probably like them anyway. As a deer, obviously, I have lots of problems with ticks. They love me in the summer. And yeah. No thanks. Bad drivers. I know. Bad drivers is like, for me, people who speed super fast or just tail me if I'm going the speed limit. I am like super cautious to go the speed limit because I don't want to hit any animals. And I also don't want to hit people, obviously. And I've had my license for 5 years now. I have not hit anything. I'm not going to hit anything. So if you tail me, I will just snail until you pass. Heavy bass. I unfortunately have really sensitive ears, so I can't handle a lot of music that has like heavy bass in it. Hobbies. You can see that above me. I do arts and crafts. I do all kinds of arts and crafts, both traditional and digital. As you can see, I'm learning Live 2D right now. But I also do just digital illustrations. I do stickers and stuff. And I'm actually also a fursuit maker. So I make my own fursuits. Irish step dancing. It's kind of an unusual form of dance, but I've been doing it since I was a kid. And it's a lot of fun. I mostly do it for fun now, but I used to do it competitively. Metalworking. So before I decided to become a freelance artist, my profession was actually fabrication welding. I was a fabrication welder at a factory, actually. I made mostly skid steers and like lawnmowers, tractors, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, I have some health issues that made it so that I really can't do that anymore. But I still really enjoy welding art stuff. So I'll make like custom coat racks and stuff. And I'm also a blacksmith. I do more traditional blacksmithing. So I make everything from like knives, mostly railroad spikes and stuff. And just decorative little pendants and things. HTML coding. I recently picked this back up. When I was a kid, I used to do a lot of HTML coding. And then I recently discovered NeoCities, which is like the the reboot of GeoCities, which if you're old enough to remember that, good job. But NeoCities is a new thing, and so you can kind of code your own website with HTML. Like the old like Notepad method. So I'm really excited to do that again. And then collecting vintage deer and 80s My Little Ponies. Specifically those two things, although I do collect pretty much everything. I have a bad habit of collecting stuff. Hi, Ignis! Hello! Welcome! For the My Little Ponies, I actually grew up with the Generation 3, but I also liked to collect the older ones like G1 and G2. Dance. And then the vintage deer, mostly 50s and 60s stuff. So like 50s and 60s Japanese porcelain deer, rubber face deer, vinyl plushy deer. And then recently I actually got my holy grail of deer stuff, which was a Boyd's Bingo the Deer in Vaseline or uranium glass. So it's actually technically radioactive, although it doesn't actually pose much of a risk to you unless you like crush it up and eat it, which if you consider crushing up and eating radioactive glass, I'm really judging you. But it's pretty cool because it glows under blacklight. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could do that, but I really wouldn't recommend it. It's probably not the best idea. But I'm super excited about that. I'll have to show it off at some point. That's all for this slide, so let's move on to the next one. So this one's gonna be me moving around a lot because I kind of crammed a lot into this one. All right, let's start by the general one. So in the general, my favorite colors are teal and red mostly, although I love most yes, autumn, the best season. I mean, all seasons are good, but I love autumn. It's so pretty, it's cool, and it's got such pretty colors and lots of spicy stuff and just yummy treats. It's the best. Also, Halloween is in autumn, so yes. But teal and red are my favorite colors. I also love just mostly earthy tones like greens and browns and stuff. My favorite season's autumn. I was born in autumn. And I just really like it. It's like my favorite time to spend outside because it's cool enough that it's not like uncomfortable. It's really nice. My favorite weather is rainy, although I do like a good mix of rain and sun. It's not too good for you if you're only in the rain all the time. My favorite flower is a bleeding heart flower. They're really, really pretty. We used to have them in a yard when I was little, and they're really pretty. I'd like to grow some. I don't know if they'll grow where I'm at, but I'd love to give it a shot. So for food and drink, kind of goofy. I like squash stir fry. Seems very specific, but my sister makes this amazing stir fry that has stuff like squash and bell peppers and stuff in it. It's so good. It's so yummy. It's like one of my favorites. Yeah, it's really, really good. Close second is actually mushrooms, because I love mushrooms. My favorite animal, I forgot. Earl Grey tea, although you probably got that from the other slide. And then my favorite animal is deer. Duh. Second favorite animal, close second favorite would be cats. I love cats. I have two cats of my own, and then we have a bunch of family cats. My two cats are called Pumpkin and Midnight. Midnight's black and Pumpkin's a little tortoiseshell. Let's see. My favorite Pokemon is Spring Sawsbuck. I whenever I get one, like a spring deerling or a spring sawsbuck in Pokemon, I usually name them Rosewood. They're very cute. For movies, anime, donghua, and TV series. So live action. NBC's Hannibal. I like this one because there's a lot of really neat deer imagery in it. It's a really neat show. It's probably one of the few horror shows I actually enjoy. But I love the symbolism. It's really pretty. I like it. I'm so sad that we never got our season 4, but it's okay. It's still good. Good Omens, which is just fantastic. We love our angel boys. Our Flag Means Death. I'm also very sad about that one right now. Here's hoping it gets picked up by some sort of network. Lord of the Rings, I forgot to include it, but also The Hobbit. I also love the Hobbit movies as well. Yes, Autumn. And then very oddly over there, the 1984 Sherlock Holmes series. Jeremy Brett's Sherlock Holmes specifically. I love that one. It's kind of underrated nowadays, but I love it. I think Jeremy Brett was like the best Sherlock in my opinion. Then we have the anime, Tiger and Bunny. That is my ultimate favorite anime. I love it to death, and it doesn't get nearly enough, not nearly enough people talk about it. It's so good. Oh yeah, true. Very true. It's nice because you can wear sweatshirts and long pants and stuff, but it's not too hot or not too cold either, so it's nice. And yes, we are getting to that. Number 6 is another favorite of my anime. I prefer the novel, but the anime and the manga are both really good too. Durarara, which always a troublesome word or troublesome name to say. I'm gonna be honest, most of the reason I watched Durarara was for Shizuo and Izai. They are one of my OTPs, so I love them. They just got Nendo's announced, and I'm so tempted. And Uraboku, which is a pretty, I guess, kind of obscure one here. I think it was more popular in Japan, but it's one of my longtime favorite series. It never got any other seasons past the first one, but it was still really good what we did get. Donghua, Tianguan Sifu is my favorite donghua. And then Modazushi and Qianqiu. So Tianguan Sifu just had its second season, and so we're looking forward to season 3. It was very, very good. Modazushi was also good, and Qianqiu, or Thousand Autumns, is actually a 3D donghua, and we're supposed to be getting a second season, although that one is taking a while, so we'll see. For animation, I have a lot, so it was really, really hard to put everything on here. Bambi, obviously, both Bambi movies. I know a lot of people didn't like the second one. I liked the second one. There's just one scene in the second one that I didn't like, and that was the scene where Bambi saved a ladybug from a spider web, thus dooming the spider to starve. I didn't quite like that scene, but the rest of the movie was really good, and also it has more Rano in it, and I really like Rano. He's such a piece of shit character. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, who doesn't love Avatar? It's so good. Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron, which was a childhood movie. And if you don't know what it is, it's a movie it's an animated film that is told from the perspective of a Mustang. But it's done so without dialogue from the animal characters. There's a narrator in the background, but there is no dialogue from the animals. They don't talk. They just make animal noises, and it's really, really good. It's also an actual realistic telling of that period in American history. They didn't gloss over the atrocities that were committed and everything. It's very, very good. Nimona, which was based off of a Tumblr? I think it's Tumblr comic. It was so good. So good. We don't have a whole lot of NB rep in movies yet, but Nimona was fantastic. And I don't actually remember if I titled that correctly because I only ever just think about the movie. But I'm assuming that that's titled correctly. Wolfwalker. I think that's what it is. I'm going to be honest, I was kind of so nervous. Yeah, Wolfwalkers. Okay. That one's such a good film. It's really pretty. And it deals with a lot of like folklore-y aspects, which is something that I really like. For the other side, we'll move over here. Books and comics. We have Firebringer, which I'm currently reading. It is actually almost like a deer version of the Warrior Cats. It's a... I like a lot of random things. A lot of random, really weirdly obscure things. Firebringer is a book that's like a deer version of the Warrior Cats. It's about red deer, a red deer herd. Yeah, I like obscure stuff. I like learning about obscure stuff too. Having new things to read and watch. So in Firebringer, it deals with a red deer herd that is, interestingly, again, similar to Warrior Cats. They all have roles in the herd, right? And so this one deals with, oddly enough, like political intrigue. So there's like certain stags in the herd that are trying to overtake like other stags in the herd and stuff. And there's like this whole underlying plot going on. But then there's also like a prophecy, which is really interesting. So I'm still reading that one, but it's really good. Moshang Tongshu's works, aka Tianguan Sifu, Modao Zushi, Scum Villain, which I can never remember the Mandarin name of. That one, they're all really, really good. Tianguan Sifu is obviously my favorite. The Sherlock Holmes books. I have like a lot of the old copies, and I love them a lot. They're so good. Classics. Legend of Drizzt, which, if you can tell by my nickname being Drow, it's not just for Drowsy. I was obsessed with Dark Elves, and The Legend of Drizzt was probably like the start of that. It's a series of D&D based books set in the Forgotten Realms universe. It's really good. This one's probably kind of odd. The Count of Monte Cristo. If you were forced to read classics as a kid, you might remember this, but for some reason I read it as a kid just willingly, out of nowhere. I don't know where I even got it. And it, for some reason, became a comfort book for me. There is also, oddly, an anime movie. Yeah. It's really interesting. There is an anime movie based off the Count of Monte Cristo that is also really good. Let me see if I can figure it out, because I can never remember the name of it. Gankutsu. Gankutsu is it's an anime that's based off of the Count of Monte Cristo. It's also really, really good. It's like an Art Deco kind of style. It's pretty neat. And the Silmarillion. I like, obviously, The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but the Silmarillion is my favorite. I was huge into the Silmarillion fandom for a while. Comics. Western comics. Not, manhwa and manga and stuff. Golden Shrike by Doe Prince it's an ongoing deer comic, and it is so, so good. If you love deer, I highly recommend it. It's like my favorite right now. TJ and Amal is an old comic. I say old. It's like an older webcomic, and I still love it a lot. I was keeping up with it as it was coming out, and it's super, super good. Would highly recommend it. And then there's this other cute little comic that I've been reading recently called It's Retail, My Dear. And it's about this little deer that's just trying to work retail, just trying to get through her like day and everything and all of the random things that happen to her at her retail job. It's really cute. It's a little slice of life, very cute. And then for manga, I have a lot of manga that I read. But these are the main ones. Obviously the Uroboku manga, which just finished recently. I say recently, it was probably a couple years ago. Time is an illusion. D. Gray Man and Vassalord. Those are my like 3 favorite manga. Vassalord is a BL vampire thing. It's kind of a weird series. It also has an OVA, which is really good. And then obviously D. Gray Man, which is a classic shonen manga. Super good. For games, on MMOs, I play a lot of MMOs, but the current ones that I'm playing is WoW, ESO, Guild Wars 2, and Sea of Thieves. I mostly play Sea of Thieves with my IRL friend group. But I am a longtime player of WoW. I started playing, well, I say long time, not in comparison to some people, but I started playing in Legion, and I've been playing off and on since then. And then ESO, I've been playing since 2014. Guild Wars 2, I've been playing quite a while too. I don't remember exactly when I started playing Guild Wars 2, but it's been a while. For simulation type games, which is another one that I play a lot of, Zoo Tycoon 1 and 2. If you remember those, I love you. They were my childhood. And I recently found out that you can actually still get them. I know at least Zoo Tycoon 2. Yes, yes, yes. They're so good. I love them to death. I love them so much. Yeah, you can still get them. I downloaded, I bought the digital version of Zoo Tycoon 1. Or not 1, 2. I still want to get Zoo Tycoon 1, but I don't know if I need an emulator to run it yet. Do you know if you need like an emulator, Rika? Zoo Tycoon 2 works perfectly fine. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Because Zoo Tycoon 2 works perfectly fine, and there's still a lot of like mod packs that you can get. I mod the heck out of Zoo Tycoon 2, because there's not as many deer species on there as I would like. So I have a lot of mods for Zoo Tycoon 2, but it works so well. I was surprised that it still works on Windows 11. Like, that's crazy. But it works so well. And I would love to stream it at some point, because I don't really see anybody playing these kinds of games on stream. I think it would be really fun, because Zoo Tycoon 2 specifically has a, is it? I tried looking on there, but I'll have to give it a look. Maybe there's another one on there or something, or maybe I just didn't see it the first time I looked. I'll have to look, because I know there is a newer Zoo Tycoon game. I haven't played that one yet. Only Zoo Tycoon 1 and 2. I also know there's one called Planet Zoo, which I've been thinking about getting. Interesting. Okay, so maybe Zoo Tycoon 1 is on there. I'll have to take a look. The last time I looked on there, it wasn't showing up, but then again, I'm inept at technology sometimes, so. Anyway, on Zoo Tycoon 2 especially, you can do conservation program games, which is really fun. Because it's kind of less like seedy zoo and more like a animal park. You can build like wildlife refuges and stuff. It's really nice. Pets 5. Again, one of my childhood games. I played it all the time. I was a big hexer. They called them hexing. But essentially, hexing was editing the models of the pets to create all kinds of crazy things. You could do pretty much everything. They had two programs that you could use called LNZ Pro and Pets Workshop. And you could use those to edit like the files of the pets, and I used to do that a lot. So that's another thing that I might like to do on stream at some point, because I don't see anybody doing these kinds of games anymore. It was a lot of fun. Slime Rancher, I have both. I have the 1 and 2. 2 is kind of it's not that different from 1, and it feels kind of like they give you everything right off the bat rather than earning it, so I kind of prefer 1. I like them, though. They're super relaxing and fun to play. And then Stardew Valley. I mean, who doesn't love Stardew Valley? I have the furry mod. And again, at some point, that might be fun to stream. I might start a new game and stuff. Sandbox games, there's just Minecraft and just Minecraft. I play way too much Minecraft. I like going to try to find my mushrooms and make mushroom houses and tree houses. For RPGs, I play all of the Elder Scrolls games. That my favorite is still Morrowind, but I play all of them. Obviously heavily modded Skyrim, and then there's Oblivion and Morrowind, which I don't really mod that much. I love them. Fallout games, mostly just Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. I actually prefer New Vegas to 4. If I do play Fallout 4, it's heavily modded. And then I hope that I put that down right. I was like super nervous when I made these slides, so and I also forgot to put it on here. I think it's Pokemon X that I have. Yes. I always get it confused with Y. I couldn't remember which one is which, but I like X because it's the one with Xerneas. And I'm currently replaying it. And I also played Pokemon Go. But I wasn't sure where to put Pokemon Go on this list, so... For competitive games, I don't play competitive games, like, hardly at all. You won't see me playing things like Apex or Valorant. That's just not my genre of game. I kind of suck at them, and I get, like, super nervous. I might play them with friends, but there's very little chance that I will play competitive games. I'm such an anxious ball of, like, just anxiety. But for competitive games, I do play Super Animal Royale, which is a battle royale, but it's like with little chibi animal, like anthro animals. And it's generally like the least, yes, Smite's on there. You're the reason it's on here. You know you're the reason it's on here. Super Animal Royale is kind of like a little battle royale, but it's got like little chibi animals. And it's a lot of fun to play. It's not terribly toxic. You can play a deer. Yay, Fall Guys. That's like a comfort game. I usually just like, if I'm like bored and I don't know what else to play, I'll just hop on Fall Guys and play it for fun. And of course, Smite is on here. You can thank Ignis for getting me into Smite. It's his fault. My main on Smite is Keranos. And there was another one that I was trying to learn, but I don't remember which one it was. It's been a bit since I played it. For music, I kind of just play whatever, or I like just listen to whatever, like, I find that I like. I don't have generally specific genres or artists that I listen to that often. Like, I will literally listen to pretty much anything, like any genre. If I like the music, I'll listen to it. But that being said, I do have some genres that I tend to be into more. So those are indie folk, Celtic instrumental, early 2000s pop, because that's what I grew up with, jazz, lo-fi, and dark country, which if you're reading that and going, what is dark country? It's yes, indie folk is so good. Dark country is a really weird genre. It's almost more bluegrass or bluesy, but it's like got kind of a weird, creepy undertone to it. It's like a really interesting genre. If you want to know like how it sounds like, look up Blood on My Name. That's like generally what it sounds like. Specific artists, I like Cave Town, the Crane Wives, the Oh Hellos, Hosier, and the Arcadian Wild. Those are my favorites. Okay, on to the next slide. These are my goals and like content plans. So this is what I will be trying to do with my content. I figured it would be good to kind of highlight this so that you can kind of know what to expect. For goals, my goal is to create a small cozy community filled with those who also love deer and folklore. I am not really trying to get a big community. I really don't want that. I know a lot of people are kind of pushing for that. But for me, I just kind of want a place where I can chill and talk about deer and folklore and stuff while I'm working. Because streaming won't really be my main source of income or anything. It's just kind of something I'll be doing for fun as I draw and play games and stuff that I can just do. Because that way I can have like, I can have company and keep others company. Another goal in the future, I would love to do charity streams and make like stickers and buttons and stuff to benefit endangered deer conservation programs. When you think of deer, you probably don't think endangered, but there are endangered species of deer, like the Bowian deer, which is unfortunately extremely endangered. And there's usually for some of these deer species, there is only one conservation program, like period. It's pretty scary. And so I would love to do some charity streams and merch for that at some point, where all of the proceeds will go to that. Share old, obscure folklore with people so that it stays alive. After all, things only truly die when they are forgotten. There is a lot of folklore that is kind of dying out because people don't know about it and people don't read about it. And it makes me really sad because there's some really awesome stories and stuff that I would love for like to continue. And like a lot of these stories are only found in really, really old folklore books. We're talking from like the 16 to 1800s. There's some really, really cool stories in there. So I would like to share that with people so that they don't die out and are forgotten. That would be really sad. And then do fun streams with other deer streamers and just streamers in general. Friends and meeting new friends would be really fun. I know there's a really cool little community of deer streamers. And I would love to get to know them and maybe do content with them someday. That would be really fun. Plans. My plans are, I would like to do folklore reading and drawing streams. So where I read public domain books on folklore and also just drawing in general. I would love to do some that are kind of coincide with each other. So maybe doing drawing some folklore, creatures from folklore. And then also I will probably be doing a lot of commission work on stream because I am actually a freelance artist. I will be doing mostly the games that I'll be streaming and playing on stream are deer or furry related games or games in which you can have anything related to deer that aren't hunting. That'll be mostly what I'll be playing. I'd also like to play, obviously, I mentioned this earlier, I would love to play animal-themed games, older ones like Zoo Tycoon 2, Pets 5. There's also some older games called like the Pet Vet series, which were really fun to play. And I would love to like just dig out these old games and just kind of dust them off and play them again on stream. It would be really fun. I was planning on maybe at some point, just for fun, doing some deer-related tier list streams. That would be a lot of fun. Like, animated deer characters and like stuff like that. And like, which is the cutest deer species and which is like, you know, obviously they're all cute. They would all be on there if it was up to me. I would like to do hoof cam streams. If you don't know, I have a fursuit. And so what I figured is for hand cam or hoof cam streams, I could wear my fursuit hand hoofs and do stuff. Whether that's painting or crafts or something. It would be really funny to try and do like delicate things in those because they are big and they are very unwieldy. So it would be a lot of fun. But I would like to kind of use that and maybe show off some of my vintage deer collection and kind of talk about it and tell you about the history of each piece. I think that would be kind of fun. And lastly, this one, I'm hoping if I can get an old copy of it. Hang on just a second. I'm going to take a sip. I didn't realize how much talking like this actually dries your throat out. I'm going to have to get used to that. I'm going to hopefully get an older copy of this, but I would like to read Felix Salten's Bambi book on stream. It is actually in the public domain. The first one is. The second one won't be in the public domain, so Bambi's Children won't be in the public domain until 2035, so we won't be reading that one on stream. But if anything, I would love to do reading streams of the old copy of Bambi. Because yes, obviously the animation is owned by Disney, and so that is not in the public domain, but the book is. Actually, interesting fact, Bambi in the book was a roe deer, and Bambi in the movie was kind of shown to be a whitetail, probably because of like localization. It was made in the US, like, so whitetail deer are more common here. But roe deer actually don't really have tails, so it's kind of funny. Bambi in the book doesn't really have a tail. Kind of interesting. So if you see a Bambi that doesn't have a tail, it's in the public domain. Let's see. Next slide. Okay, so here are my mascot design, my fan name, and my tags. So for my tags, my general tag is just the Drowsy deer. For art, assets, and just fan art of both my character design, me, and my mascot, you can use Doodle Drowsy. And for fan stuff, just Drowslings. So for the fan mascot, they're called Drowslings, and they're these little cute mushroom deer things. They're awfully adorable. So for what I've written for them, little deer mushroom creatures. They just kind of appear sometimes. It's believed that if Drowsy's ichor drops onto a mushroom, it can spring to life as one of these little Drowslings. They enjoy playing tricks on people and leading them to secret places. So you can't see it right now because I don't have that toggle yet. But I haven't been entirely honest with you. I am a deer, but there's some things that happen to my form sometimes. And typically, if I'm just very emotional, ichor will start leaking from my eyes. And it's like a magical, I guess you could just think of it as like a magical oozy thing. And so it can actually create these little creatures if it lands on a mushroom or whatever. They're cute. They've got these little mushroom cap heads and they've got little leaf ears. They're adorable. And they're very small, very tiny. So yes, there's that. Let's see, what else? Next slide. Credits, because that is necessary. This is looking a bit like that Vine, where it's just the guy who is, like, taking videos of himself, starring me, directed by me, that kind of thing. But I did most of the assets myself. I am my own mama and papa. So I both made the model art for my model and rigged it. It was my first attempt, so there is a lot that I can improve on. But that's okay, you know? I need to practice and everything. My assets were also all made by me. So everything you see, like the slides, and later you'll see it, because I'll go back to it. Hi there, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So thank you, Rika. That looks like that could be potentially a spam. Yeah. Let's just... I still don't actually know how to do this kind of thing. I don't know how to block it. Hang on a second. Yeah, I'm an official VTuber. Alright, let's see. I don't know how to block... I don't actually know how to do this. Yeah, it's not letting me for some reason. Oh, there we go. Alright, cool. There we go. Thank you. Sorry for that. I'm very new to this. I tried looking it up, but I don't think I fully understood how it works. Anyway, back to the whole credits thing. So I made all of my assets. So the backgrounds, the overlays, the slides you see I made using Canva with a combination of my own art as well as assets from Canva. My logo was made by me. And the music that you hear is actually from Fesliyan Studios. I have been using their music for many years as just like personal project stuff. And they have a commercial license. So I was able to get a commercial license for their music. And so the music that you hear in the background is from them. The music that you're hearing right now is actually a lo-fi mix that I made from several of their lo-fi tracks. The Starting Soon music was also from Fesliyan. So pretty much all of the music will be on there. I am working on better alerts. They were supposed to be animated, but I just got so overwhelmed that I didn't end up animating them before the debut stream. And I didn't want to put it off or anything because I was like, I know I will never ever start doing this if I don't just start doing it. Special credits. My amazing friends who listened to me talk nonstop about my debut plans, supported my art, sat in VC with me while I was a frustrated mess trying to figure out Live 2D. You all are the best. And you all know exactly who you are. You had to suffer me showing like 14 million whips every day. And sitting there talking about how I rigged the eyes incorrectly so they were slingshotting across the face. Yes. I really appreciate my friends because if I didn't have like them to listen and to support me, I don't think I ever would have actually made my model. So I'm very grateful. Yay! Okay, so let's see what else. I have, because I wasn't sure what to do exactly for my debut, and I ended up kind of messing it up because I was so nervous. I have a little game that I made for this debut. So, I have a little game that we are going to play. I have a jar of strawberries here because every deer loves strawberries. There are a lot of strawberries in this jar. If you'd like to participate, you can go ahead and give me your best guess of how many strawberries you think are in the jar. And the closest guess, the winner will be the closest guess, and that will be you will win a scrunkly doodle, like the little doodle that you see to the side of me here. So I'll just kind of hang out for a bit. I guess while you are getting your guesses together, if you'd like to guess, I will show off my model a bit, because I have this nice little convenient blank spot here. So it is a full body model. Originally, I was just going to do a half body model, but then I was like, nope, I'm gonna go all the way. I might as well just go all the way. So I have pretty good movement, considering I can move like this. My arms kind of flop around. And then let's see. Talk a little bit about the rigging on this model. So there are not that many tutorials out there for furry models. There's like one tutorial to show you how to do the muzzle, but it's also for a shorter muzzle. So for the most part, I kind of had to just free form it. I had to like wing it a little bit. Yeah, that was interesting. Because I was like, well, I could just do a flat muzzle, but I was also like, but I love long deer schnoot. I want to keep the long deer schnoot. So I ended up just kind of like free-forming it. So my range of movement is actually pretty good, considering I can like do this, tilt forward a little bit, and that stuff, and to the sides. The ears are my favorite part because I rigged them to the head physics, so they just kind of move on their own as my head moves, which I really like. I don't have them keyed to the eyebrows or anything. They move quite naturally, which I'm very happy with. The eyes were actually an interesting part. So let me zoom in a little bit so you can see closer. The eyes are actually move independently, kind of. They're rigged separately because canonically, Drowsy's eyes can move separately, except for like obviously their two main central eyes. All the other eyes can move independently. And I wanted to kind of echo that effect. So what I did was I rigged the cheek eyes to the opposite direction of the central eyes. So you can see here in just a second. See how my eyes move? Like that. They move separately. That was a challenge, but I really wanted that kind of effect. And again, there really weren't any tutorials for that, so I had to just kind of wing it. And then let's see, what else? I've got bouncy ears, and I also have bouncy mushrooms. The mushrooms bounce as I move, and so does the ears, and also so does the little keychain pull. So yeah, that's kind of a bit of my rigging. Again, there's a lot of things I could do better, but in the future. So yeah. That's kind of everything. If you have any guesses for the strobs, probably put them in chat now. If not, no worries. I will just do a raffle or something, or I'll post it on one of my socials. I was so nervous. I was actually kind of trying to get a little lore video together to show, but it didn't play at the beginning, so I kind of just went with it. But I will upload it on its own. It's fine. Do-do-do. Oh. Well, I will probably end it off there. It's actually almost been an hour, which I can't believe it's already been that way. Thanks so much for coming to my debut. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all my friends for supporting me and everything. And I will try to get together a schedule. This coming up week is actually going to be kind of busy for me. But I'm hoping to do a couple streams next week. I might do a stream on Sunday. I'm going to have to look at the timing of everything. But yeah. Just if you are interested in my art, I have the links to my socials on my profile. Thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your encouragement and everything too. Yeah. And I will be posting the little jar of straws on my socials. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be posting this little, thank you, Ignis. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know I'm an awkward mess. I'm sure I'll get better as time goes on, though. It's all, I guess, probably practice, just with everything else. But yes, I will be posting the little jar of straws on my socials, and that way we can play the guessing game on there. Thank you, Rika! Otsu!